Hey guys, we have Fnatic versus G2. According to LEC broadcast team, this is the match of the century. Shocks described it as a mammoth of a game. So, I'm sure everyone knows the backstory. Fnatic goes to World Finals, and they get smashed by IG, and Caps leaves the team. So there was rumors that Caps and Reckless viewed things differently, and it was either Caps or Reckless, and Fnatic chose Reckless. There's also rumors that Caps was going to leave anyways. There was rumors that Caps got poached. There's just a lot of drama that never got confirmed, that never got really investigated into. Like, nothing really came out of it. The poaching accusations never really came to fruition. So no one really knows what happened, but what we know is it was some big deal, like Caps leaving Fnatic. On the other hand, for G2, they've been on a downswing actually, where Fnatic have been on an incredible upswing in the second half of LEC. Like, their gold differential at 15 minute, their average gold differential at 15 minute is 3.3k. On average, at 15 minutes, Fnatic is up 3.3k gold. As for G2, they're in negative gold. They're negative minus like 164 at 15 minutes. So their early game, their strength has actually deteriorated a lot. And a lot of people say it's coming from bot lane with Mickey X's injury and Perk's not really playing that well as an AD carry. But it's Caps and Wonder really holding it down for G2. So incredibly important match with Fnatic on an upswing and G2 on a downswing, but still very important for both teams to win. So let's get started with the draft. Fnatic banning out LeBlanc, looks like they're targeting Cap somewhat, and then banning Jace. That's just a very common ban versus G2. It's almost an equation on how to beat G2. Ban out Jace, make sure they don't get Karthus, a Kali ban also. And on the other hand, G2 banning Braum, that's been one of Hylissang's better champs. I would say Hylissang's best champs have been stuff like Braum, Galio, I'm missing one. Oh my god, Rakan, Braum, Galio, Rakan. Looks like Fnatic leading with first pick Lucian. They want to make sure they're dominant in bot lane. Ooh, Rise early. Rise is flexible. He can go both mid or top lane. G2 loves split pushing, and Rise is a very, very great champion when it comes to split push. So, Rise, a nice early pickup for G2, and we can see what Fnatic picks into it. Alistar also just a very good and common support right now, especially with Braum out. Alistar is one of the better ones to take. And Fnatic following up with Karthus and Rakan. As we talked about, Karthus an important champion for G2. I'm actually pretty surprised they didn't take it early. And then G2 locking in Jarvan. So a lot of G2's draft revolve around taking flex picks early and keeping their draft very, very malleable. And they're also doing that right now. Rise can go mid and top. Jarvan can go top and jungle. So they can pick a new mid laner. They can pick a new top laner. They can pick a new jungler if needed. They have a lot of ways they can flex the picks depending on what they think is best for them. They're banning out Renekton and Aatrox. By banning out Renekton and Aatrox, one thing it does is it makes it more likely that Jarvan can go top. Because Jarvan struggles a lot versus Renekton, and it's one of champions Boipo has done well with. So it makes your Jarvan top lane a little bit more viable. So now they lock in Cassiopeia, and it doesn't even mean that they locked in a mid laner, because the Rise can go top, Cassio can go AD, and they can draft a new mid laner on top of this. So just so much flexibility everywhere for G2. G2 finishing up with Irelia. Irelia is most likely mid. Irelia GP. So Irelia mid and GP top, and the AP damage coming in from Karthus. Rise actually does decently into GP, so Rise probably going top. And Zed mid versus Irelia. Interesting. Trying to think what else could have been good versus Irelia. While Zed is an okay champion into Irelia, there's better ones. Oh, what's like a really brutal champion into really? Oh, Lissandra. But it's banned. Is Zed the best thing they could have taken there? I was thinking the other thing is like LeBlanc and Zarbin into mid lane, but you can't even pick LeBlanc, or LeBlanc was banned. Oh, there has to be better options than Zed though. I'm questioning the Zed pick a little. Yeah, maybe Syndra can be okay. Zed, oh, they want AD. Oh, that's why. Okay, I understand it a bit more now. They definitely do want AD, because they already have a Cassio and a Riot top. Yeah, they were planning for J4 top, but Rides ended up being really good there because it's into GP. Yasuo into Irelia. Ooh, Yasuo actually wouldn't have been that bad either because you have Jarvan and Alistar. The GP pick from Fnatic's really weird though. I mean, it allows them to run double globals and kind of a teamfight comp, but I'm not sure why they want GP so badly. So Zanko's ditching his red buff. The right thing to do whenever you get invaded on and your team isn't prepared, it's to ditch your red buff. Don't stay for red buff, just ditch it and go to your other side of the jungle. Because if you're trying to take the fight there, once you already got chunked out, it's like already bad for you. Wow, Nemesis tried to steal the crap, but Junkos was able to get it. Looks like Broxa jungled away 2 camps from Fnatic, or 2 camps from Junkos, the red camp and the Wraith. So the option for Junkos there, once he got his red invaded, was to just go to Brox's red, but due to it being Lucian Rakan bottom, bot lane has so much prio, so I don't think Junkos could have gone for that red play. Oh, Reckless plays low graphic, no shadow. I had no idea. Great knockup from Hylissang, putting a lot of pressure on Perkz there. Forcing him to burn his flash, forcing him to burn rest of his pots. Perkz has to back up. The game plan for G2 for their comp is going to be 1-3-1. Rides and Zed are both excellent split pushers. And the game plan for Fnatic might be trying to get Irelia or GP to match the split pusher with backup from GP ult or Karthus ult. But even with that, I think it's going to be extremely hard if Zed and Rides get ahead enough. A lot of it's going to come down to, if Fnatic wins, it's going to come down to teamfight. If G2 wins, it's going to come down to G2 being able to split push. So a lot of it is going to come down to tempo. When both teams have opposing win condition, tempo becomes really important. Oh man, oh my god, the 4-man dive was brutal. Why was G2 not aware of this dive? Wave is building in from bot side. Zed is getting pushed in by Irelia. Wave is building up. Okay, it should be obvious that Irelia moved. It should be obvious that Karthus could have also moved. And then they both bunched up for Rakan to get a 2-man knockup. That was just so sloppy from G2. They should have known when... Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? They should have known that they were losing prio mid. Holy shit. I'm so amazed that... Okay, and Wonder getting solo kill. Wonder's actually so underrated. But G2 100% should have known about that bot play. Yeah, and they both bunched up to get Rakan knocked up too. Oh my god, that was just god-awful play. We saw that play from Mic Check. It's when Hylissang was able to bait Caps and kill him along with Nemesis. This is something that Fnatic got much better about. They got much better about diving bottom, and they also got much better about Broxa and Hylissang synergy with Nemesis. Perfect. Alistar was waiting in the 3 brush, so they were aware in Mayo, just decided to stay bottom. Yeah, really weird for them to stay bottom there when the dive was just so apparent. Yeah, they have to do this where they back up away from the wave and they wait until Karthus or early issues. But the lack of mid priority is making it so hard on bot lane. One mistake doesn't make the game, but one mistake determines like early tempo and early flow of the game, and early tempo and early flow of the game is really important in opposing win condition matchups. So what I mean by opposing win condition matchup is G2 has a 1-3-1 comp and Fnatic has a teamfight comp, right? So if G2 gets ahead on tempo, they can constantly force split push and force Fnatic to come deal with the split push and never really allow them to teamfight. Vice versa, if Fnatic's ahead on tempo, they can set up objective first and then force G2 into positions where you're like, hey, you have to come here and deal with us taking this objective and take the team fight on us. So tempo of the game will be able to determine, the tempo of the game will be able to kind of set the expectations and kind of the framework of the game on how the fights are going to play out. And this Karthus picking up so much kills. Also, I'm super curious why G2 took Alistar instead of Karthus on their first rotation. G2's strength didn't come from bot early though. Their respawn should have been to hard force mid and top while bot gank took place. I think they lost a lot of mid lane control because of what happened early to Jarvan. Jarvan just got behind early and he wasn't able to really force stuff mid lane. And Caps, with 0 kills so far, getting his assassinations cancelled out twice. Imagine you have a Karthus and you're finishing up your comp with Zed comparatively. Like, the Karthus pick was so important for G2, and historically, the split, it's been so good for G2, so I'm super surprised they didn't take it early. And they prioritized Alistar over Karthus. Oh, he missed shurikens whenever he went on Hylissang. And he missed his second shuriken too on Hylissang. Problems Q's best champion's Alistar. Yeah, that has to be it. Where that's the only reason I can see them overly prioritize Alistar. Oh, Caps. Oh, Caps. Champions like GP are super easy for Zed to kill. Oh my god, holy fuck. Damn, Fnatic's actually dunking on G2 early. And Zed getting behind is so fucking bad. Zed getting behind is terrible. Cassio dying early a lot is really bad too. Because one, Zed has to kind of stay ahead and be even to make sure he can split push and to make sure he can get an assassination. As for Cassio, why her dying early game is really bad is because, oh my god, he's just missing shuriken, so he's not getting damage off. For Cassio, why her dying early is really bad is Cassio is very dependent on like getting early tier, like, and scaling down to the correct or scaling up to the correct items. And earlier on, while you're strong, if you start dying, like you start falling behind really heavily. A lot of the kill situation that Caps went for, it's the correct kill situation. He just didn't hit the shuriken. So Zed hitting shuriken is super important because, I mean, if you hit double shuriken, then it's amplified damage, right? And it procs your electrocute much easier. It also gives you back energy. And also, your shuriken damage gets amplified because if you use it during ult, it does additional damage. So, I mean, Zed hitting shuriken is super core to him being able to get the right kind of assassination. But G2 is not able to, or Caps is not able to hit the shurikens, and it's actually been hurting them so much. The only like shining light for G2 is the fact that Rise is ahead. Rise being ahead on GP and being able to split push endlessly is the only thing that's going to buy G2 time, and it's the only win condition G2 has right now. Wonder is such quietly impressive player. I think Jankos, Wonder, and Mickey X are all very fucking sick players, and they don't get the credit they deserve because they play on a team with Caps and Perks. Like if you play on a team with, let's say, okay, let's say Faker, let's say you play on the same team with Faker Chovy, you're not going to get much credit as a jungler or top lane. And basically G2 is Faker Chovy in terms of the region, like Caps and Perks were the two best mid laners, and then now they're on one team, so the amount of star power on G2 makes it really hard for other people to get recognition, but I think Wonder is such a core piece of G2. Think of it this way, when we talk about how good G2 is, let's say we talk about how good G2 is for 5 minutes, or we just talk about G2 for 5 minutes. When we're talking about G2 for 5 minutes, majority of the conversation is eaten up by Caps being insane and Perks role swapping and kind of talking about how good Perks is at historically. Well, them not getting the Baron there, Junko's dying, Caps dying also, and fucking Hylissang living. Holy shit. Wow, this game should be over. 43k to 35k, 22 minutes. Holy fuck, Fnatic just manhandled G2. They beat them early game and then they just kept pressuring and kept forcing the fight, and G2 could never really come back due to Caps not being able to find windows to actually get an assassination. He found windows, but he wasn't able to get proper assassinations, and the only thing that G2 were doing that was good for them was Rise split pushing and being able to buy time and push up. Fnatic not having one person top side is really troll. This is really troll from Fnatic. Really, really fucking troll. I think they could have had Irelia top lane. Because there's no one on G2 that can beat Irelia 1v. Oh, actually, never mind. Oh, no. I actually understand. I am completely wrong. Because I was thinking, why doesn't Fnatic split push? There's no one that can beat an Irelia, but I forgot how fed the Rise was. It's not because of TP. It's because how strong Rise is. That's why they can't send anyone in a side lane. Because if you send someone in a side lane, right, they need to be able to beat their side laner 1v1. But I realized, oh yeah, I forgot. Because like G2 overall as a team looked weak, but I forgot how strong Rise is, so they can't split versus the Rise. Yeah, they just have to 5v5. So why, even with this comp, sometimes you want a 4-1 is when you have Baron, like 4-1ing with Baron and splitting on 2 waves is an extremely strong play. Oh man, we need to rewatch this. I think G2 could have won the game here. Or not G2, I think Fnatic could have won the game here. Oh, do they triple in him? Let's go back and watch this slowly. So, here, I'll talk about things I didn't like here. This ult is way too early. I'd rather them save ult and use ult when they're on turret so they can actually get the turret. But they're just using ult so early that it's not helping with getting turret. Yeah, imagine ult is going down here when they're about to get turret. So Nemesis goes in on Rise. And they get the knock up here. And Reckless flashed in to try to kill Wonder. And he got hit by Perks' ult. So he couldn't predict Perks' ult. But also, the other thing is they could have just backed up and taken turret. They killed a really important target in Zonkos, and they're really ahead. And if they get this turret and they get inhib, it's pretty game over. But the Rise pick probably looked way too juicy there. And the another thing that's problematic with killing Rise is he has Seraph, and he still has his shield. So Reckless going in here was really troll, because I don't think he could have even killed the Rise, and they should have just been focusing turret. So now Butbo is taking turret aggro, and then Caps goes in on him, and Butbo's looks like he's going to end up dying to Caps. Reckless ended up dying there. And then, I'm sure they'll show it in the replay, but this is the infamous Wonder being able to dodge Karthus ult with Rise ult. Fnatic could have won the game there. If Reckless doesn't go in for the kill on Wonder, who still has his double shields up, then Fnatic just gets turret, gets the inhibitor, and pushes in with triple inhib, and game's over. Woo! Wonder living there with fucking Rise ult. What a god. Fnatic going for Baron. Damn, this Baron should be game over also. About 8k gold differential, walk up mid. Oh my god, the Rise is so fucking disgusting. We can go back and watch this, but this is all Rise. Watch the Rise, guys. Just watch Rise. So he has E. He has E again. E again. E spread here. Watch this E spread. E spread. Q spread. Oh. Broxah chunked out. Reckless, hella low HP. All because of Rise. Just Wonder is like fucking saving this game for G2. And what he did early game in terms of buying priority and pressure, like forcing Fnatic to constantly deal with his split push, and also like in team fights, just being able to chunk out key targets and making sure they have to back up. Wonder's just like, this was a situation where Fnatic had Baron against 2 naked inhibs. Fnatic had Baron against 2 naked inhib, and just Wonder being able to be a beast forced Fnatic to walk out. It was 2 naked inhib because one of the inhibs were down. But Fnatic has no tank. I mean, Fnatic has no tank, so that doesn't mean they just, bend down to the Rise. Like, they try to pressure the Rise with CC. They try to make sure Rise can't do damage like that. They try to stay away from minions that have E debuff on them. Like, it's not like Fnatic doesn't know how to play. It's just Wonder's doing a really good job. Like, here, like, what Wonder's doing is, like, Wonder goes in, right? Wonder shoots E, and then he doesn't stay for the Q. He backs up after his E initially, and then he's backing up when Fnatic's going for engage. Like, both time, Irelia used ult on Wonder and is looking to go on Wonder, but Wonder's backing out instead of committing in all the way, and then coming back and using his E so it bounces again, and then finishing off with Q. He's just doing a really good job of going in and then out, going in, then out, forcing Fnatic to deal with him, and then walking out, and then forcing them to deal with him again with E. Fnatic finally able to get the mid inhib, getting top inhib also. Yeah, this upcoming Baron is 3rd Baron. One thing that just, yeah, Wonder just one-man carried G2 up to this point. If G2's top laner did not play insane, this game doesn't even go to this point. This game went to this point because Wonder played fucking insane. Oh man. How did Nemesis end up dying there? This is still 4v5. Fnatic can't end off of this. Let's see how Nemesis ended up dying there. Nemesis walked up front. That's correct. That's correct. Whipple GP's like, Whipple's not doing a good job of barrels at all. He's not like really able to threaten with barrels. They go on Wonder, correct target, almost kill Wonder, but he's able to Zhonya's. Jarvan going in on return. Nemesis getting caught out here, and then okay, he gets chunked out. Okay, so Nemesis used his gap closer to go in on Rise, and then while that was happening, Caps went in on Reckless, and Nemesis couldn't make it out again. Oh, he dodged again with cart. Holy shit. What a god. And also Caps is recovering. As much as Caps played bad the early game, he's recovering and he's able to threaten Reckless. Oh my god, Wonder. Oh my god, fucking Wonder. Anytime like someone's like just near him, Wonder just like is able to one-shot anyone. Minions almost ended the game on G2. Oh, they're getting delayed so much here. I think if they let the All-Star die, they could have even saved TP on Wonder. Oh my god. Wonder actually getting to recall there. Saved the game. Caps is so invisible this game. It's because he was behind early. And later on, his job is to make sure Reckless can't do damage and keep putting threat on Reckless, which he is doing. Like, Caps is doing a good job of threatening Reckless, and Reckless, it isn't easy for Reckless to be doing damage in team fights because of Caps. I think Caps is doing his job just at this point. Like, he's not able to kill Reckless during his ult, and his job is to get Reckless low as possible so Reckless can't walk up to team fight. G2 caught up so much though, and then now G2's comp able to combat Fnatic much better. So someone saying Bwipo feels outclassed. Whoever drafted Bwipo Gangplank, if it was Bwipo asking for Gangplank when they already had rides, then that's Bwipo's fault completely, but I have no idea why they drafted Gangplank into rides. I have no idea why G2 didn't take Karthus. I have no idea why Fnatic drafted Gangplank into rides. Okay, we can listen to the interview afterwards to see who asked for the Gangplank pick. Now that G2 has all 3 inhibitors up again, it's just gonna come. Things are gonna come down to big 5v5 team fights, and teams can't really split push that well anymore because one, waves will never push out far enough, and the other thing is the objectives on the map are way too big for teams to just ignore. Like Elder Drake, Baron, these are not objectives you can ignore. Fnatic walking down mid without creeps. Probably want to bring creeps there, buddy. Okay, they walk mid. Oh my god. Holy shit, G2 destroyed the fight. Let's rewatch that. Watch Cap's positioning. Watch Cap's positioning. They send in All-Star and Cassio from the back. Caps from this angle. All-Star goes in. Cassio with sick ult. Just 3-way collapse. G2 played that fight so fucking well. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Wow, Hillsong able to get this inhibitor on the Jarvan is fucking insane. G2 wins team fights now. Ryze is just such a monster. Ryze is one of the best late game champions. He just does way too much damage. He does way too much damage, and he's also way too tanky and mobile. At this point, nothing beats the Ryze. His Qs hit for 1,500 damage. Empowered Qs are hitting for 1,500 damage with Void Staff. and he also has tanky stats, and he's mobile, and he has CC. He can 1v1 anyone on the team. It's not that Ryze is invulnerable. Like, Ryze is really prone to ganks early. It's just when you get to this stage with Ryze, Ryze is a fucking god. What was my opinion on Perks this game? Pretty bad early game. They should have backed up from the ganks. He played pretty greedy early, but I think that's just very on brand with how Perks plays. But his late game and his shot calling and team fighting was really good. And his general shot calling was really good from what I listened to from Mic Check. Oh, this was actually so smart from Fnatic. Rush top, took the Nexus and won the game. Let's break this down a little, like the decision making that goes in here. So what G2 is thinking is, okay, they got Baron, but all we have to do is delay them. Long as we delay them, Cassio Ryze can end the game. So they're playing to delay. This is called playing to delay. And then they realize, oh shit, the Rakan and Lucian ran away, and we can't like delay them. They're just ending the game on us. Yeah, so Inhibitor had like 3 or 4 seconds before it respawned. Oh fuck, this game was close. Fnatic played really well earlier on, and they had found a good creative solution to ending the game. But G2, considering how behind they were, they did such a great job mid and late game. G2 lost this in draft. I think the G2 not taking Karthus was really questionable, and Fnatic taking GP was really questionable. Like, both teams made mistakes in draft, but overall, like, I think draft was part of the problem for both teams, but this came down to play more so than coming down to draft. If Mickey X was there at G2 win, maybe. That's a very presumptuous statement to make. He wasn't there, maybe they win if he was there, but nonetheless, like, Fnatic very well deserved win.